Wow. That's a lot. Esther taking me up to the dealership. The car is here. It got here last night at 9:30 and we were away on a cruise. George is off. It's actually George's birthday today. Happy birthday, George. So this has to be the closest dealership I've ever bought a car from. The question is, where is it? Anybody see anything? It looks like it stands out. Something that I would have ordered back in January the 6th.
Yeah, been what, 4 months?
Yeah, January 6th. January 6th, Joey calls and said, hey, we just got a blue Type R and do you want to come and take a look at it? I took my checkbook, I put a deposit down that day. So did anybody guess this or what? I have dealt with so many salesmen over the years, but I've never been informed like this. I think you have emailed me like every day, even when there's nothing to tell me.
Even when there was nothing to talk about, I still would at least try to give you a monthly update.
Joey would just text me and go, hey, I'm still checking, I'm logging in every day and nothing is happening. Every week he is sending me an update to a point where they started tracking it. Once it made it to California, we could track it and it came on a train from California to Tampa. Then it changed to a truck and then all of a sudden it was at the dealership. I gotta give you guys a check. This is the worst part. I went inside to do the paperwork and they do have a used FK8 sitting in there in the same color. So it was kind of nice to see a side-by-side comparison. It's got a lot of good reviews. A lot of people are talking about it. A lot of people I respect that have driven numerous cars have told me how much they liked this car. Finally took the keys of the Type R. We're pulling out on one of the most dangerous roads in the United States, which is US 19, 34th Street. So this is a first drive in an FL5. I've driven FK8s before. Have to be the most amazing seats, I think, yet. The best seat I have ever had in a car was the carbon buckets in the Porsche. And I gotta say, these are right there with it. And the material is really cool. It's kind of like a ventilated Alcantara with red stitching. There's red stitching. You know I'm a sucker for this. Red seat belts, red stitching here. It's not the perfect time to buy our car because we are busy after being away. We have a lot of orders in the store. Esther is packing them right now. I'm gonna go ahead and help her. George is off the rest of this week. We only took the first 3 days of this week to go on vacay. So how many of you guys guessed this? I know some of you guys mentioned it early in the videos about when I talked about doing the exhaust tips, because I do plan on changing that. So the first thing, once you get some light on it, that bothers me is that bar. It's not only an ugly bar, it's rusting already. So obviously I have plans of changing this exhaust. We've done some exhausts on the FK8. Just to give you an idea, the mufflers are a little shorter on this one. They're probably about 50% the length of the ones on the FK8, so they get a little bit more sound of it, not a whole bunch. You can't quite see from this angle, but that there is a valve. It's an electronically controlled valve from the factory. So we are going to be not using that one because we're building an exhaust out of titanium, but we are going to utilize that valve. I'll show you some pictures here in a minute of our plans. They do plumb in some kind of noise on the inside, but I still want it louder on the outside. And of course we're going to build something titanium. Of course, good old window sticker. It's made, assembled in Japan. From what I understand, the engine comes from the United States. The rest of it is assembled and built in Japan. So you've seen around these cars, there's plenty of videos out there, so I'm not going to do the same video and show you what the engine looks like and what the brakes look like and everything. It does have a bit of a pearl to it. I do plan on possibly doing like maybe a polish and a ceramic coat. The first thing I'm going to do is do something with this, because this looks like an afterthought. The FK8 to me looked very 18, 19-year-old looking car. Cool car, but a little bit more really dramatic styling but I did like the fact that the color coded the spoiler. This is a smaller spoiler. It's obviously functional, but it looks like they plocked it on just as it was leaving the factory. Somebody said, you know what, it's a Type R, it needs a spoiler, and this is the only one they had. In person, these are a lot wider than you see in pictures. When I saw this in pictures, I was like, they're kind of lame looking. They're a little bit kind of toned down. I thought they were toned down too much. But when I saw one in person, which was January 6th, that made me say, yes, I gotta have one. I believe this is probably gonna be, apart from the Type S, probably gonna be the last cool Honda that's gasoline powered and of course a manual. I think this is going to be a fantastic platform. We're going to share what we do with it, show you all the ins and outs. We're going to dyno it. We're going to talk about anything related to this car that we put our fingers on. I'm going to share it with you. So if you like what we do, you can follow along. Hopefully we give you some ideas. So I'm glad Joey didn't put one of those big ginormous dealership frames on there. He obviously knows we would take it off immediately and put one of our LHT ones on there. And I'm going to lose these little Phillips screws that come with it. There we are, a nice new license plate. So at the back of the car, I mentioned this earlier, this spoiler to me looks like an afterthought. It's a nice looking spoiler, but with it being black, it kind of disappears. And I said from the first day I saw one of these, it needs to be body colored. Now this kind of reminds me of the S2000 with the supports. They look fine in black. Looks like we have some T-drives right here. I want to go ahead and take that off. Take that to Superior, take the color code, and get that done. I ordered this spoiler a month ago to see if I could get it and get it painted before the car came, and it's still on back order. So I actually canceled the order because I knew the car was coming. It was going to be here before the spoiler. The color code is B637P. So luckily Superior is right around the corner. I've shown this on many videos, but they just did the S2000. They did the front bumper, spoiler, trunk and such, and their paint matching is perfect. I gotta say the camera is not that good. It's kind of fuzzy. It's not as good as the camera in the Colorado, and it's certainly not as good as the camera that was in the C8. All right, so they're gonna do a spray out, then call me back and just verify it matches. It's always better to double check. And then if everything is good, then they're gonna paint the whole thing. Some of you guys saw this and started thinking either it's a Type R or a Type S. Well, this drawing was kind of the idea that I have for the exhaust, which we started making it here. This is gonna be 3-inch all the way through. We're gonna do an inline resonator first. Right now there's 2 resonators on it. We'll do one inline. The main pipe is going to be 3. We're going to have a valve here, which will be just a straight through for boost. And then it's going to go through the 2.5s, similar to how the factory set up. Well, this is titanium. We're doing everything in 100% titanium. The small low-profile mufflers that Tycon had were too long, so we cut those down. So these are the size that we need. These are our double wall tips that we're making. And then we'll show you this on a separate video. And it's going to have, obviously, these will branch off into 2.5, which is this size. This will be a straight through. Hopefully we have some good sound when it's on the throttle, but cruising, it should be fairly quiet and mellow at the same time. Shout out to the guys at PRL. We are going to be doing some PRL parts. So we are working on a new t-shirt design. It is going to have something with Civic Type R in there. Keep an eye out for that. It will be in the store. I'll let you know when it's up and available to order. And we're excited to share that with you. So I gotta tell you, I've said this before, but I'm excited for this car, and I'm excited the fact that it's not a $100,000 car that I can't afford. The Porsche was a fantastic car, just a lot of money sitting in one place. And the C8, that's a whole separate story. I'll talk about that on another video. But in the meantime, if you like the content, if you want to see this, you want to see the things that we do to it, you want to see the before and afters, don't forget, hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the share, hit the notification bell. That just lets you know we upload another video. And if you like what you see, you'll see more of it. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video.